Hi, Romans here, and in this video I'm gonna tell you everything about a music video of Golden Times. The original plan was that we would shoot 2 music videos in one day. So Golden Times and our current single Distant Faces in the Dark. The reason for this was that Dominic, who also made the music videos for Fan Haters and Lonely Crossings, has to travel over 2 hours to get to my place, not to mention the traveling expenses. Basically, the drummer, Jacob, is from the same area, and Henriette, who played a saxophone player in both music videos, also had to travel over an hour to get here. So from a logistical point of view, I wanted to make it as economical as possible. I didn't want people to travel twice for the music video, so I was like, let's pick one day and we're gonna shoot both music videos, which is actually super hard, but I think at the end of the day it's probably easier than having 2 dedicated days for 2 music videos. And the date we settled on was 25th of June, and that was Sunday. And Dominic told me that he was gonna be in my hometown the day before on Saturday because he was volunteering for the Red Cross. He was shooting some of their stuff. I don't really know what it was, but he was there as a camera guy. And he told me, how about if I come already on Friday and we can shoot some of your stuff then, and there's gonna be less work for us on Sunday. So I was like, yeah, sure. That was also the last week of school, so students had 1 more week of school after that before going on holidays. And that was the week of school trips, and I actually have gotten sick. I was really angry because I was supposed to go to Poland with one of my favorite classes, and we were supposed to have a sleepover and go to a cinema. And also Nathan, who was the American lecturer, he's not really a teacher, but he was there during the whole school year of 2022-2023. He came here through some organization. He was there for all of us English teachers, and we could use him on our lessons, and the lessons were much better with him, I think. You could actually see him in the Fan Haters music video. He plays the supporter there, so that's Nathan. We become great friends. I really love the guy, and this whole trip was supposed to be like our last big thing we would go through together, and I had to fight really hard for him to be able to go on that trip. And I've gotten sick, so I wasn't able to go there, which really sucked, and I was really afraid whether I was gonna be able to be in the music videos, and canceling 2 music videos would be a catastrophe, but fortunately I was able to do that. And the original idea for Golden Times was that we would be in a complete darkness and that there would be certain different color lights, because there are 3 different sections of the song, so I wanted each section to have different colored lights. We have this building in our garden where you basically have like a woodshed, equipment room, and you also have a garage. And one of our long-term plans with my wife Julie was to clear out the garage, because there's like a ton of building stuff and just ton of crap that's always in the way. So I was like, how about killing 2 birds with 1 stone? So we cleared out the garage, which I was doing while I was a little bit sick, but you know, rock and roll, right? So we cleared it out, but the walls had a lot of cracks and a lot of dirt on them. So I was like, you know, I gotta cover it up somehow. And I found this geotextile, which, if you don't know, it's kind of used in the garden. I just found this like a 2 meters tall, pretty big roll of geotextile, which I nailed to the wall, and it transformed my garage into a professional room, because that's where all of the band shots were shot. So on Friday when Dominic came, actually the first 2 shots we made when he arrived on Friday were the final 2 shots in the music video, the 2 shots where you can see me with my family. So that was the very first thing we did, and then we went into the garage, we set everything up because we needed to make sure that it was gonna work for everybody. And then we shot the whole music video. Basically, because the song has 3 different parts, I cut the song into 3 separate parts as well, and we're shooting all parts separately. So basically with me, we shot the nostalgia and the hope part, so the blue and the green one, and then at the end of it we shot the red one. I wanted to emulate the way we performed the song live, because for the most part I play the synth and I have the bass guitar sort of behind my back, and during the solo I would just put it up, you know, play the solo and then put it behind my back again for the final part. But there were 2 problems with that. First of all, I usually have the bass pretty high up, almost below my neck, so that means that the strap is quite tight. With it being so tight, certain, you know, it's pressing on certain body parts and the other parts go out a little bit, so it wouldn't be very aesthetic. And the bigger problem was that because of the synth in front of me, Dominic wouldn't really be able to have great shots of the bass guitar and of me playing the solo, so we just basically decided that I was gonna have the bass like separately. We shot all of my band shots on Friday, and then on Sunday the band arrived, so Simon and Jacob, they did also their own shots, and then Henriette basically appeared only in the final part. And then we did some of the shots for the next music video, but I'm gonna talk about it with the making of Distant Faces in the Dark music video. The main idea of the music video is that you have 3 different parts, all of which basically represent different types of reminiscing, which I talked about in the video how I wrote the lyric for Golden Times. The first part is called Nostalgia. As I mentioned in the how I wrote the lyric for the song, there is this big conflict between being very thankful for everything great that I've been through so far, but also this fear of future, because I want to look forward to equally great and kind of similar things. You know, I want to go through something equally great. So that's what the first part is about, and we used blue lights for it, and this section is also filled with a lot of archival footage, which you're gonna be able to hear with the sound at the end of this video. The second part is called Regret, and it's mostly instrumental. It's really about taking that emotion of being very, very sad. Everything that has been so great is over now, and there's no guarantee you're gonna go through anything equally great in the future. So that's what the second part is about, and I think that red is generally considered to be like a negative color, so that's why we used it there. The final part is called Hope, and it has a green color, which is pretty hopeful color, I think. Here we see me with my family, and we're sort of metaphorically walking towards the future. And this is again what I discussed quite a lot in how I wrote the lyric for the song. It's emphasizing the main idea of the song, just like the music videos for Fan Haters or Lonely Crossings did. It's also showing me where I am right now, as opposed to all of the archival footage that you could have seen in the first part. So it ends the song on the promise of hope. Considering that I have 2 kids, there's a lot of great stuff ahead of me, a lot of amazing experiences related to having 2 kids. But also it shows that the future, the great future that's coming, may not necessarily look the same, or may not even be related to music. I hope that there's some stuff, ideally a lot of stuff related to music in my future, but still there's a lot of great stuff to look forward to. Also, as every different section starts, you can see the name of that section. So the song is called Golden Times, but it has 3 different parts. The inspiration for this was from some of the 30 Seconds to Mars music videos, but the main inspiration was from the computer game Control, which is a really, really great game. And this game pulls off one of the most impressive, but simplest at the same time, cinematic tricks. And it's that whenever you enter a new area in the game, you get, like, for example, maintenance room. And the title is all over the screen for like 2 seconds. It's such a cool thing, and it made me feel like I was playing a game made by Christopher Nolan. This is why there are these titles of the parts, and I think that's a certain artistic element to the track. Before we wrap this music video out, I will give you some commentary to all of the archival footage that appears in the first part, Nostalgia, and you will be able to hear those sections with the sound. The first 2 shots are from the gig that we had with my first band, Bad Pools, back in June 2010, so I was still 19 at the time. We played on this festival called Gemfest. We played 4 songs there, and that was actually the second gig with a band in my life. We also played in a club that night, and that was from the song called Bark at the Moon from Ozzy Osbourne. From 2011 until 2012, I was part of the group called Graceful, and we actually recorded a record called Rock It Away at the end of 2011. The album unfortunately was never released, but we shot a music video for one of the songs called I Still Feel the Rush. This was shot in March, I think March 2012, so I was 21 there. The whole album was kind of in the style of Van Halen, Extreme, Bon Jovi, but this was the only track that was like an acoustic ballad. It had just acoustic guitar and a voice. Not a very representative track, but I remember that the music video was really, really expensive. Even now, 11 years later, the music video would still be expensive. I won't tell you the price because, you know, that price may mean different things in different areas, but it was really, really expensive. I didn't pay for it, actually.
Fly tonight. I don't wanna believe you will fall onto the ground. If I told you you had to fly tonight, you'll come around, baby. No need to apologize when I just want you to love me.
The next shot is from the release party of the For the First Time EP that I recorded with Slip of the Lip. From 2013 until 2014, I was part of the group called Hard Rock, and then we changed our name to Slip of the Lip, and I was there until 2017. And in 2014, we recorded an EP called For the First Time, and that's actually the first official release because you can find it on Spotify and maybe on some other platforms. And this was from February 2015. This is where we had the release party. With Slip of the Lip, the guy who was pouring the alcohol, that's the guy who made the record with us. He was the producer, the recording guy. We played a lot of gigs with Slip of the Lip, especially in 2015. Probably the only gig that was like professionally recorded, that's the one that you can see the footage from. This was, I guess, in July 2015. So I was 24 there, 24, 25.
I pray to the God of thunder. Ooh.
Then you can see the footage from our last gig in 2017. This was March 2017, and it was a really great gig. 2 weeks after that gig, I would leave Slip of the Lip. The next shot is from the Pink Floyd show rehearsals, and as I mentioned in the how I wrote the lyric for Golden Times, those 3 months where I was part of the Pink Floyd show from April to June 2017, best 3 months of my life. This is one of the rehearsals. We rehearsed at 3 different places, and this wasn't my favorite one. This was, I think, the music school. A lot of the other footage is from the gig that we had. Basically, that's what we were building up to. And on 30th of June 2017, we had this gig in a sold-out town hall in my hometown. We played for 260 people. So all of this footage is actually from various songs we played.
Brown town mouse, run.
2017 was definitely the best year of my musical career. And then the other footage that you can see is the footage you could have seen in the studio documentary for Pursuits in Life 1. So it's me recording the vocals, me recording the bass, Stevie recording the piano, me just having fun while Nikola was recording the saxophone, all of us recording choir.
Till dominance is blinding our sight. To your knees.
This was all, I guess, October, November, December 2017. Next video is the release party of the Pursuits in Life record, and that was in, I think, July 2018. My mom was the godmother of the album, and you can see that there's no alcohol but rose petals that we used. And the last video is from 2019 when we played in Headbanger FM, which is the biggest metal show in Slovakia, and it's one of the biggest radios, one of the national radios in Slovakia called Radio FM. So we played there with the band, and there was like 2 hours basically about the band. So this is from that event. All of this archival footage shows me since I was 19 until I was 29, so 1 decade of my life. Also, at the time of making this video, like a couple days ago, we had a 15 years high school reunion, which added to the whole nostalgia feel. Yeah, 15 years is a lot, but I was 17 when I graduated high school, so Golden Times is just a song that keeps growing in terms of its weight and relevancy